Here we go again. One more from Dougie. We're doing a screencast of a Python homework on Udacity of renaming files in a folder to reveal secret messages. This is some top secret shit, man. Anyway, we're trying again. I've had some problems with this and kind of my learning curve, but this is the download of the prank file from Udacity that has a list of all these different file names with these numbers in them. And here's our secret message. You can say it distinctly says Sir Shan Iao Ida. Doesn't say anything, right? We're going to decrypt this by taking these numbers out, rearrange the file. I'm sorry, I keep doing that thing with my, gotta give myself a little electric shock every time I do that. I have to wire that up next time. But anyway, we're going to pull these numbers out of the file names, rearrange the files, and it's going to display a secret message for us. That's what we're going to try to do. So let's close that, or shrinky dink it, and come over to the terminal. And we're going to start up our Python notebook. And here's our code. So the goal, like I said, is to rename these files and reveal a secret message. So when we evaluate that, we get, right here, what are we getting here? What am I doing wrong? Shoot. ls, we're going to cd to the prank directory, and then we're going to hit ls. There's our files. So there's all our files that are, sorry about that, we have all our files with the numbers in it. So we're going to import os, which is a module in Python that gives you some functions, namely this list directory. So if we do this, evaluate it, since I've done it before, it had them already taken out, but you see they're not taken out now because I re-extracted the zip file, blah blah blah. Anyway, here's our file names that have all the numbers, and let's see, what we've got is these files here in a Python dictionary. That's all goobered up. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to rename those with this function right here. If I evaluate that in the notebook, it's a built-in function that renames files or directories. So that's what we're going to try to use. So let's close that. And we're going to use this translate string.translate function in Python. To do that, it's going to say object not found. I need to import the string class, or string module, I guess they call it. And when I do that now, it's going to say, here's all our goodies. Pull that up and we can see it better. It's going to translate. The doc string is translate a string, and the arguments are going to be a table and a string of deletion elements, that's what we're going to pass in as the numbers to try to pull them out of that file name. Anyway, I'm not burnt out on this. I'm going to go through this one last time, and if it works, I'm going on to the next thing. So we're importing the string module, and that is that when you put a question mark in front of the function and you hit Control Shift, that's what we're looking at, is some documentation on that function. So anyway, I was trying kind of on my own to see how far I could get, and from that doc string, trying to take the old name, pass in the old name, and put a function in there that pull out the numbers in there. But what I ended up doing was creating a variable like they showed in the video. Let's clean that up a little bit there. Let's call it my file, my picture, since it's a picture. And it's got a number on the beginning and a number on the end. What we're trying to do is just pull those numbers off of it and just have a clean file name. So when you evaluate that, you can see it's got this crud on it. So we're going to take the file name, which is this variable that's attached, assigned to this picture file. I'm going to call translate on it, pass in none because there's no table, and we're going to, second argument is going to be this string of numbers, and that is supposed to pull out all the numbers out of this string and produce a nice clean file that doesn't have any numbers in it. So if we evaluate that again, you can see it says mypic.jpg. So that's working. That's what we're going to work with. So tried OS rename list of files by directory, which is my variable that's holding all the stuff up here. See, list of files by directory, showing all these files that have numbers in them. So I got that far, and for some reason I think I have figured it out. Just throwing this error. List object has no attribute translate. So list object, I think, is this is a Python list. This variable is this thing up here is a Python list. It's got the little brackets around it. And closure, that would be a vector. Little information there. Been working with closure also. But there's no Udacity program on closure, which I would love to take. In case you're listening to this, I would love to take one. I would love to make one. I would love to have Rich Hickey do you a Udacity course on closure, because he's a really smart fella, and closure is a really easy language to learn also. Very cool language. Anyway, getting back, I'm getting on a rant here, sorry, too much coffee. But anyway, this is a Python dictionary, Python list. It's got strings in it, separated by commas. Closure has a Python vector that you hold strings in, no commas needed. And you can do all kind of cool stuff with vectors and closure also. Anyway, let's get back. We digress. Anyway, hope you're finding this amusing. I'm finding this quite amusing myself. So, where were we? We were down here trying to pass in this os.rename function to my variable that holds all the file names that have numbers in them. And anyway, it wasn't working. It's not working. So, went back to the video, and he is using, I thought maybe up here I was tried testing to see if I was pulling out of the wrong directory like he was. I got a bug in mind, but it's a different bug. So anyway, I kind of went back to do what he was doing. He set up a for loop, and he had a file name under here. But if you put file name in here, it'll actually work, I think, now since I refreshed it. Let's try that file. Some live coding here. File name. And down here, get situated here. File name. Just take that out. Put in file underscore name. And then over here, if you do file underscore name, name, that should work. So it should produce this list that's all clean, even though I've already done it with that XYZ variable. So let's see if it'll work with the yeah, it works with the file name. I ran into a problem before because I was reusing variable names, and I think it was crashing. I think if I went back and did XYZ again, it would crash again for me, because it's keeping track of the variable names has to do with state, holding variables. Python uses variables that hold mutable state. So does closure, but when you change it, I don't know, it seemed like it a little bit cleaner anyway. Anyways, you can see it pulls out the numbers. Maybe I'll do a screencast, try to do this in closure. That would be kind of fun to do. Trying to teach myself both languages. Trying to teach myself Python and closure. But kind of using Python here. Anyway, so it did work. We got it to work by doing this for loop. Passing in this. It's really a placeholder, I guess, is what it is. It's not really a variable. You can change that to X and it still works. So anyway, when I did that, it worked, pulled out everything, pulled out all the numbers. Here's the LS to show you that it's working. And when we come back to this now, you can see all the file names have the letters or the numbers pulled out, and it says keys are in the closet. I'm not sure how he got back in his house because they hid the keys in the closet, so he must have crawled through the window anyway. Got it done. Thanks. Bye.